Kick it.
Hey there, and welcome back to another demonstration of the Streameries. Today what I want to show you is a couple different modules. Basically we're going to go over the ScoreBoard module, the Still Store module, and also the playlist. And the playlist is what we use to support the player modules. I'll start out first off with our player module just to get that rolling. So kind of a reminder, it is exactly what it is, and that means it'll play different types of clips: WMVs, AVIs, MOVs, MP4s, and the popular file types. You can add to this if you want to. You can let an additional control of this player module, and what you can do with it is you can bring in what's known as a playlist. And playlist, like all the modules, are added through the module drop-down, module add, and then in the list, and then simply bring it in, and it pops in. Now the playlist, you can position that anywhere you want to. If you want to position it underneath the player module, that's great as far as reference goes. And what you do with the playlist is you bring in, it's designed to bring in multiple clips. Typically what you do is if you right-click, you can add a file, or you can import a folder, or you can sync to a folder. And adding files, you can, like I said, you can simply click on it and you can open your browser and you can add one file at a time. Or you can import a folder. And in that case, you simply just point to the folder you want and it will bring in all the files within that folder. You back out here and see my folder, there you go, just like so. And it brings in all the clips associated. Now you'll notice that there's a checkbox next to the different names. And what that is, that gives you, if you bring in multiple files and you want to only play certain ones at certain times, well, then you can check off the ones you want to play, and they will play sequentially down the list. Another thing you can do, let me clear this out and show you something really cool here, is you can right-click and you can sync this to a folder. And I'll sync this to this video folder inside my video folder. And I don't have anything in there right now. It's completely empty. But if I were to share this folder across the network and I have content coming in, and this works with stills or video files, so it doesn't really matter. So if I have this folder and I have it shared on the network, and like I said, I have content coming in, up-to-date content, where this comes in real handy is if somebody drops those files in that folder, it will automatically populate for me. So there again, really easy, really fast, get your workflow down. And on the player, all you have to do is stop the player and drop the little drop-down menu there and point to the playlist. And when I click on it, it'll automatically start playing. And like I said, it will play through the files sequentially based on the check mark. So if there's half a dozen files in there and you only want 3 to play, the 3 that you have checked off, those are the ones that are going to play. I'm going to let this clip right here play through just so you can see how it advances from one clip to the other clip automatically. And hence the name being a playlist. And you also notice that the file that is playing becomes highlighted, so you do know what's going on. So if you have things that are similar and you're not quite sure, well, the playlist will show you which one is actually playing. So I'll switch back over to my live shot here, and I'll stop that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this out. Put this back on the clip there. The next module we can talk about is the Still Store. Now the Still Store is, the concept of that is to grab still frames of your program as you're streaming. So as events happen, and if you see a particular event, or you're aware of an event coming up and you want to basically take a picture of it, well, that's where the Still Store comes in really handy. All you do is you point it to which input you want to watch, which one you want to monitor. In this case, I'm going to tell it my program. And as my program is going along, let me start up. Let me pick a clip here. I'm going to start this up, play this. Let me get this playing. Actually, let me see. The best way for me to do that, since I changed positions, let me There we go. And so we have this clip playing along, and it could be anything. It could be, like I said, you could be at a sporting event, whether it be football, boxing, baseball, soccer, whatever it may be. As the event is progressing along and there's something that happens, you want to grab it, simply, like I said, point this to the input you want to put it into or the program out, and then grab a frame. And you can do that sequentially. It will automatically store all the frames for you in your folder picture. So I can keep going and I can grab them as I go along. And then I can also switch to them. So if something happens of importance that I want to bring a highlight to, well then I can always talk about it and go back to it and fade it up and actually talk about that photo. So and like I said, that could be anything during a sporting event or some special event, and you want to highlight an individual still. Well, this allows you to do that and do it very efficiently. Another really neat module we have is our ScoreBoard module. The ScoreBoard module is great for when you're doing obviously sportscasting, for baseball, football, soccer. The sports that you want to keep, and you want to keep that scoreboard up there and allow your viewers to keep track of the scoring as you're going along. Well, let me go in here. My pictures. I'm gonna drop a football game. I'm gonna drop a still in here just so we can see this. Give a little simulation on what's going on. And my scoreboard. I'm going to open my scoreboards up, and I'm going to pick one. Let me pick this one here. Now, by default, this is set up to handle the 320 by 240 graphics overlay. You can put in different size overlays depending on what size you are streaming, whether it be a 640 by 480, 640 by 360, or even high def, 1280 by 720. You can build your graphics accordingly. Now, like I said earlier, by default, the module is set for a 320 by 240 still. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'll bring up my football game here. And I want to overlay my scoreboard so you can see it. And you can see there's no score at this point in time. And how you do that is you see these little keys here, the +1s on the home and guest side. And you could also type in, if you decide to, if you bring in a scoreboard overlay that has room for a name, you can type in a name, and it will show up on the scoreboard. But since my scoreboard already has my home and guest already there, all I need to do is just basically set my score. And as I click this, it goes up by 1. You can also manually type in a value if you wish to. For instance, for football, as you go up, if I say 7 points, if they happen to get that field goal. And you can see the guest side there, I can also increase the score. So you can do it by clicking the mouse, adding the score onto it, or you can do it manually. And there's the on button and the off button that basically brings the score up and down. Now, if you bring in a custom graphic and you need to set the score to place in the right place, because you notice that on this scoreboard, you can see the boxes where the scores actually line up. Well, you can adjust those based on an XY coordinate. And all you need to do on the scoreboard is right-click on it. You can control the position of the actual graphic through the XY coordinates, or you can also adjust the scoring itself through an XY coordinate system. You simply enter a value, and it will move your score, and you can get the score in position. And once you have the scoring in position, then you want to save that project, and then it will save that positioning of the scoring placement. And like I said, these modules are designed to let you easily and effectively produce live events and really show off, because compared to what other systems out there in the market can do today. The StreamBreeze is extremely flexible, and I think you'll be quite satisfied with what it can do. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great day. Kick it.